We are live. We are back after a 3-day weekend. Welcome back, Tracker.
Welcome back, madam. Happy to be back here.
Yeah. After some crazies over the weekend, we just, had to focus on other things, really.
Yep.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't mind saying I said it
Monster.
publicly. I just had a case of the blahs yesterday. Had nothing to do with the markets. The markets, I said, markets are going to be fine. Don't let them shake you out. I've got to go take a lie down, and I did. I took a Xanax and a lie down yesterday morning.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to.
Yep. But we're back today
Well,
with a slightly early show. I don't know. We can try to make up
yeah,
for
a
some
few
of
minutes early.
lost time. Yeah. Um,
Let's see here. Yeah, we were looking at Palantir early on. So, I mean, before I guess we jump into the indices, I know everybody wants to talk about Palantir. So why not just jump right into it? And we can see that it's at the 1.414, almost exactly. It's pre-markets at 104 exactly. The 1.414 is 104.21. So it's a huge gap up this morning and a gap up right to a resistance zone. And I mean, is it possible to continue on? Yeah, sure. Because stocks like MSTR, they already went to their 1.618. So I think that's probably going to be eventually the next target for Palantir, 157.62. But let's see how this week shapes up for Palantir. I want to see if it really, really, really can close or maybe even open today above it and just stay above it for the rest of the week. Let's see.
yeah, it's working
104.21.
on it. It's at
Yeah.
104 exactly right now. Well,
Oh,
just a
no, you
moment ago.
jinxed it. 103.90.
I know. I was just late announcing it. But yeah, so let's see if it can get over 104.34 or not. That was last night's after hours high. It's still see on
Yeah.
the MCDX Plus on the hourly chart. It's just the MCDX Plus is slammed to 100%. Just all institutional buyers are just all piling in still. So yeah, maybe we'll continue on. I took my profits on PTIR last night around 7:30. I had 160% gain off of the position I had taken on it. So I'm going to lock that in, and then we'll see what happens next.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
I
Just
mean,
watching to see if we
I mean,
get
you know me. I'm always cautious at a resistance, and that's
right.
where it's at. And I know a lot of people were waiting for a deeper pullback, but I think the linear scale fibs they told the story. It said it wanted to hold the 69.15, even though it did get that liquidity underneath it. So people that were always waiting for lower, they always missed out because when you always assume lower, then you will never ever buy. And that's exactly what happened for Palantir. So a lot of people missed out if on this, right? If they missed that, then they definitely missed this too, because they were waiting for a deeper pullback. But the linear scale fibs told a great story, and now the log scale fibs, they're telling an even better story that this thing wants to probably go at least to 157, maybe even 500. No, we'll see.
Oh, one day 590. I think that's Cat's target 593.88.
Why
So
not? Why not? Why not 1198? Why not? Huh? Or there's this up here 9,000. That's a good one too, right? Yeah.
oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z over 9,000.
Do you want to share your Palantir chart?
Sure. I'll show my Palantir chart and stuff. Just kind of musing about what could happen here. This is the hourly chart, and so far as Ichimoku clouds go, here's where the Ichimoku cloud like jumped up overnight, and it's building this base down here on the Ichimoku clouds. Obviously, it doesn't have to go back there, but it would not be unhealthy for it to see it come back down to there. One thing you can only tell if I put this on the front. Look right there. That is a katana between the baseline and the conversion line together, and the katana is just starting to spread out. So who knows? Maybe we'll only get as low as you know if it just goes sideways long enough for this conversion line catches up. Maybe it only goes back to 786, 9880 at the most. Maybe we get no pullback at all. It just keeps going, like Matt said. I'm going to give it a little bit of. I'm going to give it time to get a breather because it. This is usually where Cat says, "Well, it went outside the monthly Bollinger Band, and it's probably going to get punished and have to go sideways a little bit." Let's see, did I turn it on? Come on, monthly Bollinger Band. I can't. What is going on with the Bollinger Band? Oh no, there it is. There it is. It's just right. I'm expecting it to be on top of it. No, the price is on top of the Bollinger Band, and here you go. So, but on the logarithmic scale monthly, you can also see the Bollinger Band is like way on the bottom. It's way down here, so it's maybe it's curving to the side, but maybe it just keeps going lower. Palantir just crossed 104.35, so now we've got a new all-time high just as we're speaking right now. So yeah, let's just see if it floats higher, or well, it doesn't show you here, right? Because the price is actually it's up here. Can't see it right now, but it's way above the Bollinger Band. So anyway, yeah, sorry. Wait and see is the order of the day. Here it is in the 8-hour chart. So yeah, let's see if we can get it, if it does any kind of pullback or just keeps going. I thought there was a better chance of a pullback when the gap wasn't closed. I thought maybe it might gap down to here. That's all. I don't have anything to tell you except if you've been holding it, you can keep holding it, or you could sell a little bit to capture some of that profit and maybe put your money into something that hasn't popped up yet, like Tesla or MicroStrategy or Coinbase. Coinbase also. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, we're waiting
this
on
is my
Bitcoin though.
right. Here's my wishful thinking is for Palantir that might not happen. Maybe 91.41 is that 55 is that 50% level right there. Okay, that's all I got for you. It could just keep running after making slightly higher and higher.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want to do the indices now?
Oh yeah. let's just take a look at that.
Okay.
Okay, so here's my chart for the QQQ. I just wanted to show you guys that it's still trying to battle this conversion line here at the 519.42, and what do you know, price is exactly at 519.42. So that's going to be the weekly goal to close on Friday, but in the meantime, it's just still in a range, and with the SPY, still same thing, right? It's still in the same range it's been in. It's still maintaining this conversion line. It was opening below it yesterday, but it finished the day above it. So I'm looking at that 593. So the momentum is still pretty good for SPY. Nothing has really been lost, but it might kind of just stay flat for a while to get closer to the cloud. I'm not sure. So could stay that way for some weeks since it seems like it doesn't really want to break into all-time high territory. So I'm not too ecstatic yet, just because it seems like, yes, it is bullish, but I think it still could easily come back down to like retest some levels, especially maybe even that 585 again. So just a little bit cautious still, even though it is above all the averages. And the IWM, this one is right on the 786 for the log scale. And if we go to the linear scale, this is the one I'm focusing on the most, though, the 226.74. And I want to see that get back above. But in the meantime, it's also still stuck in a range between the 219 and the 226. So no change for that one. And the SMH, that's this one I'm watching carefully here because it gapped below some levels and it went underneath the baseline, the 50-week, and the cloud for like the first time in a while. So I'm kind of a little bit cautious with this because I want to see it close back above, right? The 241. I want to see it close above. And if it can't, then this could mean maybe semis are going to lag the market a little bit longer, right? There could be some downward pressure on this cloud. So with that said, I mean, I did see a request for AMD in there, and I can just pull that up really quickly just to show you guys. So AMD is kind of below the 50 or the 200 week. It is trying to get above it pre-market, But one thing I'm focused on with AMD is actually this 50-month moving average at 113.67. So that's been holding perfectly as support. So, which kind of makes me believe maybe the SMH is going to hold as support too. But if the SMH goes down, then I think some of these semis might go down. So, kind of watching the SMH closely just to determine if semis are going to have some weakness for the next couple of weeks or months or whatever. So, uh, keeping my eye on that. But so far, AMD is holding support nicely at the 113.67.
Indeed. Excuse me a second. I had to clear my throat. I saw this request for IVVD. The requester said that they're talking about in CNBC. To me, it just looks like it's a pump and dump. So I wouldn't be excited about this thing at all. I don't know what catalyst that they're preaching, but just be careful because so far, what they ran it up in pre-market aftermarket to like $1.45 and it's down to $1.28, and so far this whole thing is just a lifetime downtrend. There's nothing bullish about this chart, so I would be, don't put any money into this that you're not willing to lose 100%. That's all I got to say about IVVD. Let's see, Palantir. Let me do EOS Energy.
Okay.
I haven't looked at my chart in that for a while. This is the correct chart, weekly chart. Let's see how my charts are holding up here for EOS. Yeah, so it got, I decided to call this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 complete. Let me go to a smaller chart. And now it started to go into its wave 5, but it kind of fell back over, just like a lot of things did in the market. But look, it's only made a higher low, so it's still quite bullish. So, if you're holding it, keep holding it. My targets go all the way up to 888 still for the 223.6 fib. So no real change there. I mean, the market's just giving lots of people more buying opportunities to get in. Even now, if you just got in right now, from current price of 56.61 to 888, there's a 58% increase to that wave 5 top. And that's all I got about on EOS right now. Sorry, this is a little bit messy. I should probably just delete this because it's kind of in the way. I'll have to redo any kind of smaller degree chart. You don't want to be trading in and out of EOS anyway. You just want to buy it and hold it. All right, that's EOS for me.
All right. Yeah, I see Riot and a Wolf. So I'll jump on those real quick. So Riot, all I'm focused on in Riot really is this range is stuck in between the 1042 100 week and the 382 fib right here, the 1514. So it's been kind of building a base for the past 4 weeks on top of this 100 week moving average. So that seems to be the support here, and it looks like it's just range bound until it can break free of the 1514, which looks like it is maybe possible if Bitcoin can continue going higher. Otherwise, it might just still be in a range. And with Wolf here, I think Wolf was a perfect back test of weekly support here. And that perfect back test happened twice, right, of the weekly cloud. So if you missed it, it gave you 2 opportunities to buy down there. And I was a buyer in the 420 zone last week. And that hit again today, or yesterday, I mean. And so now it's just in the middle of a range. And now it's getting kind of maybe trying to build a base on top of this weekly cloud here and go back towards the resistance above into the 620s, 630s or so. So again, a lot of miners, they're holding support. This is kind of the theme for all of them, but they're just still in a range, right? They haven't broken any kind of resistance yet. So it's just waiting on that. So it could take some time, maybe more weeks, and test everybody's patience even longer, because that's what miners love to do.
Okay. I've got my TeraWolf chart up here too, just to give you some projections of what it might do. Thanks, Matt. So after reaching this wave 5 and an ABC down, I was really hoping that the end of the C wave was here at $4.97. But then a couple weeks later, it looked really good right here, right? And then boom, it dropped back down. So sadly, where earlier I was projecting um, 24.99, like $25 for the top of wave 5, I'll have to adjust it down slightly now. So from this low down here, right there, to that high, to this low, I have to pull it down to this one now. So now it only goes up to $24.16. So it knocked off about 75, 80, 85 cents. But, that's not too bad. So anyway, yeah, Wolf is just going to take longer, like Matt said. It could be that now that all this is wave 1 and all this is wave 2, and this wave 2 might be an extended wave 2, and then the wave 4 will be shorter later. So just yeah, give it time. Here's your weekly Ichimoku Cloud. It just barely gets up to $6.75 by June. But hopefully something happens with Bitcoin before then and kind of starts to send this up higher. Right now, if you like miners, then now's not a bad time to add to it. Though personally, I'm all in on MicroStrategy and Coinbase and MSDX and Conel, and I still like Tesla. That's what I think. I think we're going to cycle. Oh, I didn't talk about Tesla yet. I think Tesla uh, and cryptocurrencies are going to lead the charge here through February, from the middle of February into March, and then reach some new highs. As far as Tesla goes, maybe by March it's going to be retesting that all-time high. Either it comes up probably just short of it the first time, possibly it could get a little higher than it and then come back down. By the way, somewhere near 488, back to test out support in like May, June. Maybe this is like a longer wave 2. And then in July is when this pops again and we got a new higher high. And maybe, well, by July, I'm hoping to see my 711.77 hit. And that is where we're at right now. As far as today for Tesla, what do my eyes see? I see we're under a lot of resistance. We're under the 8-hour Ichimoku conversion lines here at 392, baseline's up here at 403. We left a gap behind that it wants to fill. And ever since then, it's higher highs, higher low. Well, I'm sorry, that's a lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. So it's another triangle pattern, right? From here, let's do it this way. Something. Oh gosh, what are we doing? Mix these. Yeah, something like that. We're just sort of stuck in this another triangle here. Maybe this becomes another island reversal. Look, it was kind of like island reversal almost. Then it ran up an island bottom here, and then it could gap up again. I don't know. I'd like to see it get back over 400 very soon. My Ichimoku, I'm sorry, my moving average 75 is up here at 416.11. We just have to get over that to be bullish again after getting through this gap. And the conversion line, the baseline, Ichimoku cloud, and then my moving average 75.
Yeah.
And there you go.
With my Tesla here, I just would prefer to hold this 378.85, the 886 right here, which it has been doing. So this has been your support. And if it ever breaks, then I'll be expecting 350s, 360s. But if it holds, then it might continue higher. But again, I mentioned that 390 level is really important, and it's kind of stuck under 390. So let alone 400, I don't know. Like it's really stuck in a tight range, and because of that, it can break either direction. And I could see one more low, flush low, to retest the lows here before going higher. And if we put on the log-based fibs here, maybe one final test of the 353.19 right before it really wants to go higher. So we'll see, right? Maybe more pain before it goes higher because that's what Tesla loves to do. It makes people crazy and test their patience. But so far, it's holding 378.85, and if that holds, it's going to just continue to build a base. But if not, 350s. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yep, there you go. I set my my alert for 378.88.
Just
Actually, I'll just
3
adjust it
cents.
to 378.80,
Yeah.
378.85. Right?
I mean, it held perfectly yesterday, so it went down there. It went down to 374 even, and bounced pretty quickly back above 378, and held throughout the whole day. So I mean, that could be foreshadowing of what's to come, but it's not looking like it wants to break out anytime soon because of a lot of resistance from the 390 to the 400, and until it's trapped under there, you can't be bullish in the short term. Like long term, yeah, I'm still super bullish, but short term, it's just sideways or down. That's all it is. That's the facts.
Yeah. It was a real bastard. Just as I was expecting the Ichimoku baseline to move on like the hourly chart,
Yeah.
they made a new lower low. I mean, they made a new low, so it kept it from going up.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just going to be more time with Tesla. Maybe like later February or early March or something. But in the meantime, focus on the winners, right? Focus on the Palantirs. Focus on all of the good stuff out there. Because Tesla, it had a massive run, right? So let it cool off a little bit longer. That's all. So with that said,
Which is weird
go ahead.
because
No, go ahead.
oh, because for me, I like on the short term, it feels like it's cooling off, but like over the longer chart, it still feels like it's going ballistic to me.
Yeah.
It's just getting some.
But one thing I wanted
What's
to
the
point out,
word?
and I know Kat was talking about it too, is the Bollinger Band. It's
Yeah,
on the monthly chart. It actually started to open candles inside of it, so it's no longer writing it as support,
um,
right? So this is more proof that it could be cooling off for like a month or so, or a little bit longer. Yeah,
well, that's not great for my July thesis. Then
yeah. Well, I
we'll see.
mean, the month is young, and it could just do something. It could do something like
Yes.
this, where it opens below and then it closes back above. Back in November, you see right here. So
Oh yeah.
it could do
So
something like that,
and
right?
yep.
But we'll see. I mean, it's in a range, and because it's in a range, I don't think it's going to break out until it proves it wants to break out. And it had a chance last week to stay above 390, and it did not. So because of that, I think that 390 is going to offer some resistance even before the 400. But that's a really tight range, 378 to 390 for Tesla. So we'll see which one breaks, right? We'll see.
And we warned you last week. I brought it up again. That very first candlestick for the day, for the week, on the new month, they can do all sorts of crazy
They
stuff
can.
to it, and still come out fine by the end of the
Yeah.
month or end of the week.
Yeah, that is 100% true. So we'll see. I mean, just for me, I'm not really focusing on it that much because it's just stuck. After a massive move, it's just stuck. So just let it do what it's going to do. Don't try to fight the stocks. Don't get angry with it. Just that's what diversifying is for. You can focus on the winners like Palantir. And with that said,
That's right. And Coinbase.
yeah, coin. Yeah,
I showed Coinbase.
I can talk about coin. So with Coinbase, yeah, it's on the log scale here. Weekly chart. I love this GAN right here. It's kind of like really just trying to build a base now on top of this blue level, right? It was a previous resistance back in March 2024, flipping to a support, which is nice. So that line right there is around like 277. And you know what else is around 277? If you really want to know, it is boom, boom. On linear scale, 277 is this 618. So lots of good things. Previous resistance there for the 618, flipping to support. So yeah, I mean, Coinbase, is it going to blast off like today, tomorrow, this week? Maybe not, right? Maybe it's just going to just cool off a little bit still, and possibly just stay in a little bit of a tight range here for Coinbase, maybe for some weeks, maybe by March or so. It could probably break out of this arc and this 318 again, and then go to all-time highs, right? So, when our earnings here, it's the 13th, yeah, February 13th. So I think earnings could be good, right? Earnings could be the catalyst to maybe push it above the arc there and break it. But I'm really like Q1 earnings are probably going to start to be great with all this trading volume that you see. So we'll see.
Oh
That could
yeah.
be for Q2 though, because all the profits they're making this quarter is not going to show up on their earnings report. So it could take a little bit longer, but either way, it doesn't matter. I see where this is going for the longer term, and I see it going to the 429 again and towards the next level here in the 800s. That's what I see. So I'm holding on. Gonna enjoy the ride. This, if you miss Palantir, this looks like it's going to be the next one because it's building a solid base above the 786 right here, the 245. It's super solid. So yeah, Coinbase looks fantastic for the long term.
Let me show my Coinbase chart. I just want to show something that's interesting for people to watch for this kind of momentum, this kind of movement. So here, Coinbase, after hitting this low of 240.77, ran back up here to 310.61, and look what it did. So it gets above the moving average 75 on this 8-hour chart, and back under it. Then it gets back on top of it, it breaks out a little bit, and then it gaps down to run back down here to this 265 level for support. Runs back up, makes a lower high, but you scale, it crosses and almost looks like it kind of gaps over. It's just like running back and forth between here and here. It runs back down here again. But now, so it's in this triangle, right? And it's attenuating slowly. So I think after, let's say, a lot of energy, a little less energy, a little tighter, and then right here on earnings is when I think the veil between the bullish red Ichimoku cloud and the bearish, I'm sorry, the bearish red Ichimoku cloud and the bullish green Ichimoku cloud is thinnest, might be where it can kind of cross through and get higher. So yeah, look, I'm looking for some stellar earnings on Coinbase. Let me run this on out. So let's see if it actually, instead of getting the energy getting bigger, what I kind of see how it got really small right here, maybe it just stays like this into earnings. And anyway, that gives you a bullish wedge down. That's all. I'm looking for, as Matt said, a really big earnings on February 18th, 13th, February 13th.
13th, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be good earnings, and it is setting up. The chart is setting up like just one kind of on the high time frame, just one giant bull flag, looking like it wants to break out. So, could be good, but if it takes longer, it doesn't matter to me because I'm all about the bigger, longer targets, right? The higher percentages, and I think it's going to at least 800s to 1,000. So, with that in mind, I don't care about the short-term price. Only for accumulating more Con-L.
Exactly. Ooh, we like the Con-L. All right, here's a request for Team Atlassian Corporation, and identified, basically from the beginning of time, its all-time low of 1692, up to its all-time high of $483.13, back to a support base of 113.86, gives us this 1, 2, and now it's in wave 3. Wave 3 sub 1, my target is the 764 for $470, and then back to the 382 for $291.95. As if you've heard me say it before, since the wave 2 is going to be support at the 382, it's going to be resistance here the first time. And look, there was resistance right here on December 2nd, went back down, didn't even quite touch this weekly baseline, and we're back up again over the conversion line on the weekly cloud, on the weekly Ichimoku cloud. The institutions are loving it. They've been buying and buying and buying and buying. So yeah, my target for this is a steady $470 next. Maybe just be cautious around 402, but it should probably just push through that and just barely miss the all-time high before it has to run back down here and test out this 292 level. And there you go. There's Team in the short term. I know this is like weekly charts, and these look like this is 2027, but the timing, you can't really be sure about this. It could run really hot really fast. I don't know. Just from where price is now to there is it's a 50% increase. I don't own Team though. I'm not trading this one. I've got other stuff I like better.
All right.
BlackBerry.
I have a Ion
Go ahead.
Q chart if you're finished.
Oh yeah, I want
So
to see
yeah,
an
Ion
Ion
Q.
Q.
Yeah, IonQ actually, I'm enjoying this chart a lot because this 2021 high right here, it was held, right? It did a big like liquidity grab down to the 886 here and held, bounced quickly back above, and been spending a lot of time on top of this 3590, and I like that. I like it a lot, and it also flipped the arc to a support. So guess what? I think it's going to the 70s, right? That's where I think it's going. The 1.272. I think all of the liquidity got grabbed down here, and I think it probably is ready to gradually go higher. So yeah, current price. I mean, it kind of is in the middle of a range. I like more of a support zone down here at the 35. Like if it came back down there, that would be a great opportunity in my opinion. But yeah, I think the trend, the trajectory is higher. I think 70, maybe even $100 later on for IonQ. This is looking bullish, 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 bullish.
Indeed, and unlike some of the other stocks with quantum in their name, actually is a quantum play. Let's see. My IonQ chart says it wants to touch $51 and then come back to where it already hit support. So now I'm not so sure. 50%, 382. I might have to redo my IonQ chart. I think I might have to call this. Well, no, I did this. This is the 1-2. Oh, no, I do have to redo this chart. Never mind. IonQ later. But it's bullish on the MCDX Plus, as you can see. 58% whales right now, but just a little bit too much retail.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to do BlackBerry.
Yeah, go ahead.
BlackBerry on my 8-hour chart is consistently staying over the conversion line baseline. I'm looking for an ABC retrace that I'm not getting because I wanted to call that the wave 5 and be done with it. It looks like I'm going to have to keep continuing on higher. Let's look at it from a retrace standpoint. Don't have a retrace for this. Yeah, as far as retraces go, back to just this high from 2020, it wants to go to $12.23, back to $8.33, and then up to $18.55. And that kind of joshes with the last time it wicked up here. I mean, maybe you could try to get to the 70.20 and do a slightly higher high, but the 6 months, it's a pretty solid bet. So, yeah, just look forward to make these to make these turns. So yeah, I like it to 12.23 next, which is crazy because that's a I don't know, I own BlackBerry, 196% higher. So let's see if it can prove itself in that regard. And it's no longer a company that makes clicky devices that go in your hand. They're doing software as a service now. All right, that's BlackBerry. Sorry, I don't have anything more smaller and definitive, but it kind of broke the last chart I drew for it.
All right, very good. Let me just jump on some PayPal here since they had earnings.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. PayPal is falling. The sky is falling. But if you look at the chart here, we can see that it just hit clearly the arc as resistance, and it couldn't really break above. Maybe even twice it tried to get above it. And it was on its way to the 92 again, but then it got sent lower. Now it's back down to the lows here in mid-January, like the January 13th week. So that has a potential to hold in that zone, and I'm going to be focusing on that. But if not, there is more support back at that 236 as well, which was already confirmed really as a support. So it doesn't necessarily need to go back down there. But I think it's starting to be in a nice support zone, right? Maybe from current price all the way down to the 77, this zone. And it could just like spend time in the zone, cooling off, waiting for maybe the 50-week and the 100-week moving average to catch up to price a little bit later. So still a very nice chart. Previous resistance level, the 236 right here, resistance, flipping to support. So it's good for the future, but just temporary. might be under some pressure for some weeks, or just trade sideways to down for some weeks before trying to break out above this arc again. So yeah, I still like PayPal. I still actually hold PayPal, and I think it's going higher over time.
I'm looking at it myself. It looks like it wants to go to 107 to 18
Yeah, I can see that.
based on, yeah. And that'll be like the wave 5 top, and then it'll get an ABC correction.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say about that. That's my prognostication right now.
yeah.
There is a retrace argument for it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just think it's going to go up to towards the 200 week and the 382 up here, which is kind of like your 107 is basically in between those numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just sort of stuck, and it's this could be considered an extended wave 2, subwave 2 of the larger degree wave 5. Like, it hasn't even hit the wave 3 yet.
Oh, Kat's asking if we're doing a live stream tonight. Are we? Are we doing it? He's asking in the chat.
Oh yeah, no, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Tell him
Yes,
yes.
Kat. Yeah, I mean, you can tell him too. He's watching the show apparently.
Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're gonna go live
tonight.
tonight, and if we don't take all your requests here, we can maybe get to them later on. But I do see we're running close on time, so we'll do a couple more. Do you have any more you want to focus on, Tracker?
Oh gosh, I thought I had one. Oh wait. Well, all right. Let me just show CLDI. It's a pet project of mine. Calidi Biotherapeutics. They have this really cool. Well, they have 3 really cool products to treat very difficult cancers using oncolytic viruses that they package inside of a stem cell. They put it inside of an adipose tissue fat stem cell, and so then the patient's body doesn't reject it, and it gives the stem cell, it gives it like food for it to propagate the virus. They just put it right into the tumor, and they've got I've got a slide deck with the interview that I did with them, with the CFO, Andrew Jackson, and oh my God, the results just are stunning on that slide deck. They've got real patient pictures, so some of them are kind of disturbing, but then you think about like, oh, but the before and after, wow, it really helped them a lot. Calidi, as crazy as the price moves have been, like on your screen in the short term, like it did I think it was like 28% one day and then almost 40% the next day. I can't remember the exact numbers. Well, here it was. Yeah, up 21%, then up 38% yesterday. And as you can see on this daily chart, it's just trying to get back to the baseline as it's resistance now, but the conversion line starting to come through it. One argument for just an Ichimoku, one argument for a retrace back to this level up here when it was 389 gets us to 226, 136, and then 318. But that's just like on the small level. If you go back, if you get even farther back, I mean, the stock has struggled. And most of the time I see a stock like this, just like the one I told you for that other requester. I wouldn't say I liked it that much, but it has sort of been building a base. The argument is that it could run up to $53 and back to $33 and on up to $85. This thing, its all-time high was $137.90. And my guess is, I already heard Andrew Jackson talk about how he thinks that this year, next year, could be really good for mergers and acquisitions to come back into play. So I'm guessing if they see a price that gets anywhere near $53, maybe if it starts to bump up against $33, someone's going to want us to buy them out. But there you go. Calidi Biotherapeutics, my little pet project. If it did go to just the resistance level of $33, that's almost a 10 bagger right there. That's a 9,800% higher. Is that where price is now? Almost.
Nice.
Is that right? Maybe I'm a little off. Gosh, gotta be accurate with these things. It makes such a big difference. No, I missed it again. About, somewhere in the 3,093. 2,000%.
Huge.
There you go. So I've got huge, right? I've got like 10,000 shares of this thing.
Nice.
So just letting it ride.
All right. Let's
All right. Well,
I'll do one more. I'll do
yeah.
SoFi before I wrap it up.
Oh, great.
And I'm watching the daily chart for SoFi, but I mean, short term, it's kind of like a loss of momentum. But longer term, yeah, I think it's going to all-time highs. So it doesn't really matter short term. But I think it's just maybe going to spend some days down inside the cloud here on the daily chart, right? Maybe where resistance is going to be the 15s up here, and support somewhere down here, maybe even retest some other lows down here in the 14s again. Not sure, but it doesn't really matter to me because I see the trajectory of this, and I think it wants to get back on top of the daily cloud, then go towards the 786, and that's going to be the next major resistance zone, I think, at the 1883. But this is a bullish chart, and it's just spending some time to cool off a little bit before going higher. And yeah, anything else, Tracker, you wanted to talk about before I run away?
I'll just tell everyone that, like Candy's Cat just said, the show's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Matt hosts it and puts it both on YouTube and on X.
Yeah, it'll be on the Triumvirate channel and on X and wherever. Yeah, so join us tonight.
Yeah, you can watch the recording afterwards as well.
Exactly. All right, guys. With that said, we'll see you tonight, 7:30 Eastern tonight.
Thanks, Matt. We'll see you then. Bye, Cat.